Welcome back. This little how-to video is going to tell you guys how to use the slice curve brush to essentially give nice sharp ends to our fragments. Okay, as we work through these exercises, you will see that you quickly become tired of looking at these horrible rounded ends of the Z-sphere model as it comes out when we first Dynamesh it or continue to sculpt. So I use the slice curve brush to just really cut these off and give me a nice clean edge. Okay, so for people who aren't familiar with it, you can access it by holding down Control and Shift. And this normally activates the select rectangle brush, which I'm sure everybody's familiar, shows and hides part of your model. Alternate brushes that are available if you hold down Control Shift and pull out the brush menu are all of these. And what we're actually interested in is this little round guy, slice curve. So click on that, and that gives us an alternate brush for that key combination, Control and Shift. Okay, so what we get is a nice way to cut this off. And by default, it comes off as a straight curve. And that's great for what we want. Just rotate your model to be facing. And I'll turn my polyframe on. And I have to colorize my mesh again so you can really see what's happening up here. And I'm going to turn actually down my polyframe fill to 1, something very subtle, so it doesn't go too dark because we have a lot of polygons. Okay, so one slice through with the slice curve brush gives me that. I can do the same for this stump. And that's nice. And so we have different polygroups. And how this works when you Dynamesh is, well, the eventual goal is to hide these and then use delete hidden. If you look right now at what we have something that's not watertight, right? It has holes. We want to fill that in. So we're going to use Dynamesh to fill that in. And so to get this to do what we expect is we want to turn on group, and then it will respect and remesh the polygroups independently. So with that selected, we just do Control drag, and it's going to fill in our holes with nice clean edges. So what we get is that, and we get that. Beautiful. So from there, we just go down here to delete hidden. And we're as good as new, but with some really nice sharp edges. Okay, a couple other functions about this brush that you should know about is that if you're dragging and you want something other than just a straight line, dragging, if you hold that, click Alt as you're going, it'll create a curve, or if you hit it twice like I did at the start there, at the first 2 inflections, it will give you a hard edge. All right, so that's going to create a new polygroup with a nice sharp edge through it. Okay, and then you can proceed the same way. Dynamesh and delete hidden. Actually, we don't like what I've just done, so what I want to do is just do a straight cut across there. So I'm going to rotate my model and cut them straight across. And you're going to see there's a little bit of an artifact here. So this is a bit of a problem, right? It cuts all the way across your screen regardless of what's there. And so we can solve that 2 ways. We can do, like I showed you, by cutting down, click twice, go across, click twice, and up. And release, and this will square it off and keep the cut from propagating across the arms. And that is probably our best option. Okay, so we just Control drag on the canvas and Dynamesh it. Click twice, hidden, and now we'll delete hidden. Okay, that's it for those 3, and while I'm doing it, I might as well do the base as well, just for completeness, and to say one more thing. If you want to make this guy really nice, so that he stands up. Say you eventually 3D printed him or did something crazy like that, you really want to be sure that your base is level with your model. And so the best way to do this is to turn off perspective, and as you're rotating, hold down Shift, and you'll snap into one of your orthogonal views, front, side, or back. And then you can just go in and make sure you're using your slice curve brush, and just make sure you're snapped to the horizontal axis. Like so. Control drag to remesh it. And we'll click up here this time and hit delete hidden. And we have a fragment that we can continue to work into, but that has nice sharp edges.